Hey sis, it's me. So for my morning snack, I had my asparagus. It was really great. I got the pan soaking here, and loved it too. And now I'm about to make lunch, and I thought I would share with you my favorite lunch recipe. So I had a big old onion. This is half of it. The other half I cut up already. And I sent some pictures to you of my favorite way to chop up an onion that without cutting yourself, and that goes really super fast, so that you can get evenly, like little even chunks of onion. All these little rainbows turn into little tiny chunks, and then they cook evenly, and they all get done at the same time, and you don't have some that are all crisp and gross and some that are like super nice and yummy. So over here, I got out my big fry pan, and you can, I think this costs like $15 at Target. I'm not even kidding. And I put some olive oil in there. If you want to measure, it was like 1.5 tablespoons or 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And that's just so that my stuff doesn't stick to the pan. As you start cooking more and more, you just don't have to measure. I also have some eggs here, and I have what's called elephant ear kale. And I wish I hadn't done this last night, but I washed it and I laid it out on some towels, and then I took it off of its stem. But there used to be a stem and another half of this, and this is just one side that I took off the stem. So you just take it all off the big stem so that you don't have to eat that icky stem part. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up these kale leaves into pieces that are smaller, probably about this size. I'm gonna throw them in this pan with this onion that I got diced up, and then I'm gonna let that all cook and saute in the oil and salt and get yummy, and then I'll show you what's next. So what I did was I took a little bit of the onion that I chopped up. I don't want to have it be too overflowing with onion. And I put it in the pan that was on medium. And I threw a little bit of the kale in there just to start to get it going. Now I want to break up all these onions so that they can cook. And so I just stirred around, basically. As you can see, after I put the phone down, I had 2 hands, and I was able to break up all of the kale pieces. I would say that was probably about three kale leaves. And this looks like way too much for one person, doesn't it? It looks like, how in the world am I going to eat all that? But what happens is most of any kind of leafy green thing, the majority of it is water. And when all that water cooks out, it adds so much flavor to your pan and amazing nutrients that your body desperately needs, that you can't get from box food. But it also shrinks a lot. And so all of this, yes, is going to go into my eggs, but it won't be this big. It'll cook down. All right, so here we are back again. As you can see, the kale is getting tinier and tinier, and I'm just now it's only been about 1 minute since I last was filming, and that's how quick it goes. This is like a super quick lunch, doesn't take long, and it's super cheap too. You save so much money, but the flavor, oh my God, the flavor, it just like, it cuts all of your cravings, because when you eat flavorful, good food, your body is full, it's satisfied, it's happy, it's like, hell yeah. And then you aren't constantly reaching for whatever, I don't know, maybe some Oreos or some Scooby-Doo snacks like I do every now and then. Yeah, it happens. Anyway, one thing that's happening to the onions is they're getting clearer. And that's what you want to have happen, because that means it's releasing all of that flavor. You can see all these onions are getting so like glazy and clear versus the onions over here that are like super white and hard looking. So then what I did was I cracked 4 eggs in here. Now My ass was broke when I got pregnant. I got knocked up when I was 18, and we literally had one steak knife. And the first time we had friends over, I had made some grilled chicken, and we didn't even have enough knives for everybody to cut their chicken up. That's how broke we were. And so I just learned how to make my eggs with a fork. If you want to use a whisk, you can use a whisk. It really don't matter. The main thing is you got you a bowl, you got some eggs, and you just want to beat the shit out of these babies. Now, just think, in like 6 months, guess who's going to be helping you do this? Guess who's going to be helping tear up your leaves and whisking up your eggs? Little Anella. She's going to love it. All my kids love to cook with me, and now that they're 17, 14, 10, and 8, they can actually make this all by themselves, which is really nice because that means I don't have to cook every single meal. Now look at that. Uh-oh, I got a burnt onion. Oh, well. You know, nobody's going to die here. But you do want to stir this stuff around and not let it burn. So don't forget to stir. I was lucky enough to be home with the girls, and I'm so excited to get to be home with Anella. And those days are just so awesome, but don't feel like everything you do has to be playing with the kiddo or doing something with the kiddo. Like, take time to cook, take time to take care of yourself, because nobody else is going to. All right, so we got the eggs, we got the pan filled with this. Now I'm going to cook this down a little bit, and then I'll show you next step. All right, so it literally has been 30 seconds since we were last here in front of this pan, and look at these leaves. They are like hardly anything now. Truly, they're just like cooked down. All that water and flavor has been released, and you can see it in the pan. All of this stuff right here, that's going to add so much flavor to your eggs. You're going to feel like you're eating out of Gourmet Kitchen. And so what we're going to do is pour the eggs in. Now, one thing you'll notice, the eggs are gone. The Tupperware is gone. Cleaning up your kitchen as you go is a really fast way to make a meal without leaving your kitchen looking like a tornado went through. The other thing you'll notice, I turn the heat down a little bit because when I get these eggs in here, I don't want them to scorch and burn and taste like crap. Burnt eggs kind of smells like dog hair, and that's just disgusting. Nobody wants to eat something that smells like dog hair. So now I'm going to scrape the eggs out of this bowl. You'll see I poured it right on top of all of that stuff, and that's going to add a lot of flavor. But I do want it to be evenly distributed. So I'm going to move some of this around just a little bit so it gets evenly distributed and I don't have like a big hunk of onion right in the middle. That's disgusting. Okay. Again, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. It's not going to kill you. It's going to add flavor to your healthy food, and then you want to eat it. And I guarantee you, you're eating a lot less salt than if you're eating from a fast food restaurant or something out of a box. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to grab me a flipper. It's old. I've had it for a while. My good flipper just bit the dust. It broke right in half. It looks dirty. It's not. It's just old. And I'm going to go around the edges of my pan and start to get this baby ready because I want it to cook all the way through. I do not like eggs that are not all the way cooked through. It's just gross. So the way that I do that is I actually pull back a little bit of the cooked stuff, and then I tilt the pan, and all that stuff that hasn't been cooked yet goes back into it. I'm going to do it over here too. I'm going to push on this side some of this back, and then I'm going to tilt the pan again, get any more of that loose egg over into this part of the pan so that my omelet is cooked on the inside and the outside. And I'll go up here, make sure it's staying, not burning to the pan. I'm going to go up under all this stuff just to make sure it's not sticking too much. And then when I go to fold my omelet in half, it'll be not stuck to my pan. I'm going to continue on the edges to get any egg that's not fully cooked down in there. And if you got a gas stove, then you'll just want to have your stove on like medium or medium low. Okay, next step. I'm making this for 2, so I cut it in half. And now, as you can see, all of the egg is really cooking on the inside here. But I don't want it to cook too much. I'm going to flip it over. And that way it'll stick together. You can put cheese in these. You can put peppers, squash, beets. Beets are so good in eggs. That's one of Anne's favorites. They just add this roasted flavor that is unbelievable. And then I just kind of keep flipping them over back and forth. Now they look like they're burned, but they're not burned. That's all of that flavor that you got out of the onion and out of the kale earlier. That's what that is. That's not burnt, I promise. And I'm just going to keep flipping them back and forth until I am confident that all this stuff up in here is cooked and that there isn't any more raw egg up in there, because that's disgusting. But at the same time, I don't want them to burn. See, I still have some egg coming out that's uncooked when I squeeze it. That'll push all that extra egg out so that the next time I flip it over, now that part's going to cook. Like I said, you could go to a restaurant here in Minnesota and pay like $20 for these eggs, but get them here for about $3.50. Anyway, I love you. I hope this was a fun cooking lesson. This has been fun making, and I hope you and Anella have fun cooking together. And I love you, and I miss you, and we'll talk to you later. Take care. Feel better.